Hello, Dave. Hi, Dave.
Hi,
How are
I'm
you?
Bill.
Oh, it's Bill. What are you doing here?
The doctor changed his appointment. He
Oh,
has
yeah.
a procedure he's got to do, so.
Ah, okay. Well,
And of course, I thought it was 11, and Gene says, oh, there. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. I'm just gonna sit
pay
down.
attention to me. Pay attention to me.
Oh, David, I don't
Oh, yes.
know.
Neither do I. Today.
Just
What's happening, Bill?
too much going on.
Uh,
Hey, is 9 o'clock all right? Picking you up, or should I be
I-
earlier?
I think it should be 8:45 because we have to allow for the possibility that the bridge is delayed
Okay.
or delaying.
All right. 8:45 it is.
Hey. Mr. Moki came to see you.
Yes.
Miss Mango has been. She came. She came and helped me take a shower this morning.
Oh my. Well, that's a good start.
Our new shower has a seat in it, and so she jumped up on the seat and watched me take my shower.
Did she get wet?
No. I can't do a class with you there, Moki. Much as I love you. Yeah.
Wow.
You can sit there until Bill gets his shoes on.
You're gonna have a long time there, Moki.
Ah, I thought maybe Dave would join us today, but I haven't heard from him even.
Huh.
Not good. I don't know
No.
what's happening with him. I'll have to get in touch with him later. And
We lost not only our TV, but our phones
what?
yesterday and last night.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know how the hell that
That's
happened.
tower, isn't it? Problem? I don't know.
It beats the hell out of me too.
Yeah.
So,
We didn't, as far as I know. We're not up terribly late, although Jane had a hard time going to sleep last night, so she was awake for a while, but
I see she moved her car. You can see where the car was parked.
oh,
She must not have been out and about for several days.
well, no, she was out yesterday and
Really?
today. She's getting a haircut this morning.
Oh, okay. Well, that's important.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Moki, you're a lapful. He likes his food too much.
oh, yeah, he looks like he's a little barrel-y.
He is a little. Whereas his sister runs around a lot and more active, and she is a little slimmer. They both are very friendly, however, which is really nice. Yeah, Mo. Bill needed a little cat time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, you are, honey.
Yeah, you are. You're gonna have to get down now, though, because I'm gonna do something else.
Oh.
Just push him away. He can be very insistent sometimes. How are you?
Actually, things are starting to move.
Ooh.
I spent a fair amount of time on a computer this morning. My PCP wrote me a very long note.
Mm-hmm.
The neuropathy, that vascular surgeon felt that it was the nerve endings, and that my lower back is causing all of that.
Uh-huh.
And so she suggested that I have some physical therapy and
Or chiropractic?
no, just regular PT. Working on the lower back.
I always go to a chiropractor first.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, that's my approach.
Yeah.
But partly because I've had such good success with that.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, when I had my sciatica, I saw my back surgeon. I had acupuncture and chiropractic and PT later, and the thing that helped me the most was chiropractic.
Yeah. Well, we'll see where this goes. I never think about that because.
There's a really good one in Colchester.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Colchester Chiropractic. Trish.
Oh, I know. Yeah, she's near the town hall. In
the plaza there with 3 buildings.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
My.
She's in the straight ahead building. And our massage therapist is on the right. Left. Left, David, left.
Oh, in that same building complex?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
What was your back problem?
Well, my sciatica was coming from my back.
The sciatica is, what's that?
Pain down through the leg.
Yeah, that sciatic nerve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the problem I'm having right at the moment is coming from my back too. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to make an appointment to see her. Very weird. I'm better actually right at this moment than I have been for several days. Off and on, I would suddenly get into a period of, as I was walking in my right leg, I would suddenly get a severe pain, and then my leg would collapse.
Where's your cane?
I thought about that. It's in the closet upstairs. I mean, I do have a cane.
Maybe you ought to take it out.
Well, I'm a little better right at the moment, so it's still a little sore, but it's not. It's weird. Sometimes it was this quad, sometimes it was this one, and very rarely in the last few days it was the ITB. So it's not limited to just one place. It's floating. So weird.
I don't have any pain down my legs.
That's good.
Yeah, except that the neuropathy, you
Mhm.
know, in the bottom of my feet. As a matter of fact, I can feel it now. It's a little burning.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, with my spinal stenosis, I don't often have leg pain. I most of the time have some back pain. But I manage to control it.
you know, how you doing?
I haven't had to have a shot in my spine for over a year. So, shall we start this class?
Well, I don't know.
Moki will demonstrate. He is really an expert at some of the things we're trying to accomplish.
You know, I mean, he was sliding down. He had, you know, most cats, if they feel they're like sliding, they would hop off.
Yeah.
That's just fine with him.
Well, he knows that humans will save him. Okay. So in all your practice,
Yes.
questions, comments,
No,
problems?
you know, I think the thing that amazed me was that this was it. I go through this and then back around.
Mhm.
And if I'm just, and then back around. Now, when do I do the other side?
You just did.
No, I mean,
The
you know,
other
first,
the other points you go in sequence
it's-
around. So
So I
on
would,
with the right arm, the next one would be this is the starting point. So
no, I don't mean the starting points.
okay.
See, what I used to do is I would go like this,
No,
and that's a no.
that's a no.
Well, when do you come in from the other side?
When you change arms, or you can do it indeed. So you can have the little finger edge leading, changing to the thumb edge, circling around, rotate the arm and the thumb edge leads, changes to the little finger edge, and
Okay.
rotate the arm and you can go right on. Yes,
Okay.
that's one of the many possibilities.
Okay, okay.
So if you want to do both there, that's fine. However, there is a real advantage to, with the right foot forward, doing the right arm, and then going into the left pattern because it requires a different body movement. Not different in terms of the pattern of movement, but because your right foot is forward, you can't rotate as far in this direction as you can easily in the opposite direction.
Right.
So you have to find where's the place that you can be open here and not locked. So you have to find what that point is. And it just helps to open up the qua and to work the pattern in both directions that way. You can do both.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with doing the other.
That's what I want to do. What we're doing.
But for me, anyway, this is actually easier than doing this, because the arm has to cross the center line in order to do the left pattern with the left arm rather than the left pattern with the right arm.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with doing both, but it would be a good thing not to get locked into just one or the other.
I would like to do what you've been teaching us.
Well, I think the thing that, I was thinking about this today, because I've been just sort of introducing the movement. But obviously the intention of the movement is to move the energy and to develop a clear understanding of various possibilities of whole body movement. And so it's important not to once you understand the physical movement, to really begin to focus on the other aspects. And you start with bend and stretch and twisting and lengthening, and then you go into recognizing the flow of the energy through the arm to begin with, ideally eventually through the entire body. So it's not just make the pattern. That's totally superficial. Eventually you want to be really aware that you are bending and extending and bending and extending and bending. And if you do the same one, you are twisting out, you're twisting in, you're twisting out, you're twisting back in. And that, both of those movements need to be constant. So in other words, it's not bend, extend, but it's a continuous growth to that. And that's the same thing with the twisting. You're not twisting, you're twisting all the way through. It never stops.
My energy movement is minuscule.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, on the way over today, I was thinking, what the hell are we doing now? There's no talk about energy movement. Surprise!
You must have sent me a mental message. Because, and the thing is that getting those first three parts, bend and extend, twisting and lengthening, really finding those allows you to really begin to tap into to feeling the energy and eventually to moving the energy. Because we're not just interested in feeling the energy, we want to be able to direct its flow.
You know, when I feel the energy, you know, the class where there's the four of us,
Mm-hmm.
Gene and I and Judy and Charlotte.
Yeah.
When we start that, what do you call it? That
Eight gates.
8 gates. I feel it in that,
Mm-hmm.
and that's usually the rest of it. I'll feel it a little bit, but
So, what do you think is different between doing the 8 gates and the other Qigong that we're doing?
well, I think one thing is that I move with the elbows,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that must help it because
Yes, it does.
I mean I can feel it right now.
Yeah.
But of course, when I put my hands like this, I can feel it.
Yeah.
No matter what I'm doing.
Have them a little wider apart, not in the center there, on the sidelines.
We want the lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're too far apart to feel.
Yeah. So, what that's pointing out is that you want to work towards applying that to all the other movements that you're doing.
Moving the elbows.
Yeah. Part of whole body movement. So if you notice, for instance, it starts just from stirring the energy in Dragon and Tiger. So in other words, when I'm doing that, I'm not doing this.
Right.
I see everybody doing that sometimes.
Yeah.
Jean and Judy are probably the more constant ones. You and Charlotte tend to get a little more movement into it. But the movement is one in which, as you're making these circles, if I exaggerate, my elbows are also doing it. And you can feel your scapula begin to move, and the energy starts to not only fill your hands, but you can feel it stirring around your legs. That's why we call it stirring the energy. Important to keep the shoulders relaxed as you're doing that. And then the thing is that in all those other movements, in each of the postures, we've worked on that, but notice that the elbow is constantly moving with the hand. So there is a continual movement of the elbow. That's the easy one, that first posture. The second one is much more difficult. Remember, that's where we worked on that exercise of circling the elbow as you go out. And the good thing to remember is that you're not putting the arm out here. You're putting the arm out here, because the body is turning when we do it. So it's right in front of the body, because that way, when the elbow goes out, it can go down, come up, go over, and back down into the flip. So
You're on the line?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'm sure I am not when I do it.
Yeah. This one, of course, is out to the side. But it too, in a different way. As it goes out, the elbow is going out, and it comes back in and down. It makes a little curve there, back to here, and then back into. So the elbow movement is very small in that one, but it's present, certainly. This one is this one's pretty easy to feel because you're going down here, so you're sending you're pulling the energy down to the waist, then sending it down the outside of the legs, and that is, you can really feel that. So the elbows, notice that the elbow doesn't just drop. As you're going down, the elbow goes forward, back a little, circles around, comes up, and you go into the, I mean, each of you can discover each of these, you know.
I have to pay more attention to that.
Yeah. And certainly getting the elbow movement is even though it may be minuscule, is really an important part of getting the energy to flow through that. Same things happening with this one. Elbows are rotating. Elbows are rotating as you begin, and then they come in and out and in and out and around. You know, they're continuously moving.
Do that one again, because I'm not sure I did that one right.
So when you begin that first bend, the arms are twisting in, which means that the elbows are rotating this way. You're pulling the scapula out actually just at that moment. And then they're coming in to be on the sidelines. And then they're going back and down and pulling in, turning down, pulling down, spreading out. You come down and out. And now they're twisting in and twisting back out again.
Yeah, when you do this,
Yeah.
do you?
Not that high. You're really trying to connect the hands to the kidneys,
Okay.
which are just a little above the waist, not
Yeah.
not way up, but here. So yeah, that in that movement, the energy is coming up. You're pulling it through.
Oh, okay.
So you're actually stroking the kidneys and around the side,
All right.
and then down.
Okay.
And
I've been just doing this.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And
Okay.
important there, every place you can, getting the elbows onto the sideline. So in that one, this comes around, and notice that my elbows come clear in to the sidelines. They don't end up
Right.
here, they come to here.
Good.
But you have to,
Away from the body.
and the hands, notice, are not here, they're here. That makes a big
Straighten it
difference. What I will say is, if coming to here causes everything to tighten up, then you may have to start just a little open, and then as you keep practicing, if you practice that regularly, you'll eventually be able to get the elbows in.
I see what you mean. Okay.
Sorry, Dave, that was a side so with everything that we're doing, we want to really try to get all of those elements to work, as well as the breathing, which is really important. You don't want to ever hold your breath. The Taoists, unlike the Buddhists, almost never hold the breath in any of their practices. It's a different approach. Doesn't mean the Buddhists are wrong by any means.
From Zen Buddhists.
What?
From Zen Buddhists.
But in Taoist practices, we don't usually hold the breath. So it's really important to get that continuous breath. Kind of interesting. Master Joe used to, since we're working, hi Mango. Since we're working on Master Joe's things, he really followed a very ancient Taoist principle that's written about in some length, called breathing without breathing.
I hear you mention that periodically. I'm not sure I know what it is.
So it doesn't mean that you don't breathe.
Thank goodness.
That's counterproductive, to say the least. But breathing without breathing means breathing without any break. It's consistent, but without having to be specifically aligned with movement all the time.
Oh.
It is sometimes. So in Qigong and Neigong, most of the time the breath is, at least in the initial stages, it is aligned with the movement. But in Tai Chi, it's never aligned with the movement. So for instance, when you're doing the even this short Yang style form here that we do, hey you, not on the computer. Excuse me.
I think it's okay.
Yeah, she went in the closet. It means keeping a consistent breath going, not trying to get it to fit with the movement.
Yeah.
Which is what, for instance, Shaolin Kung Fu does. Uses the breath that way. But in Tai Chi, we never do. So it would be virtually impossible because of the well, for many reasons, but because of the fact that every posture has a different length of time. So it's easy enough to do it on ward off right, but then if you were to align the breath, you've gone into ward off right, and what would happen there is that you have gone exhale, got to continue the exhale, inhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Doesn't make any sense. So the inhale and exhale can just run whatever your comfortable length of breath is. Um, so what you're trying to do is get the breath to be consistent and constant, without any pause, but not dependent on the movement. The difficulty for us is that when we're doing a lot of the practices that we do, the Qigong and Neigong, the breath is aligned with the movement. It can change when you get to more advanced levels, but initially it's aligned with the movement. Blah, blah, blah.
No, I never knew that.
That's another reason in the Tsung practices that we're working on, looking at now, is that you're not. It's perfectly okay to inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. That's fine. But what about if from here you've inhaled and now you have to exhale, inhale, exhale. So this causes, if you're trying to align it with the movement, depending on the speed that you're moving, you can make it impossible. So you don't, at that point, worry about where you're inhaling and exhaling in relation to the movement, but in the sense of keeping the breath constant. I can keep your head filled forever.
It makes sense to me.
Good. Good.
Well, should we do different positions?
Sure. What would you like to work on? I was thinking of working on the form, but we can do whatever would be
Well, let's
most.
work on the form first.
Okay. So, why don't you do the form? You've only been doing it for 15 years or 20 years.
Yeah, but I don't know what is the form and what is the who's and bob and.
Form is the form is ward off, roll back,
Okay, all right.
push, press forward,
Yep.
pull down, and all those good things.
Okay.
You're gonna run into the pole.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Now we step out with the right foot in the morning.
Hmm? Okay. So, the first thing would be to try to get all the whole body movement into it. Because until you have the physical shape moving correctly, it's kind of hard to do all the other stuff that's in there. And you started quite well. You did. You started, you had the right, coming out with the right foot and going into your bow stance. Now here, this is a really subtle movement, and it has both this in it and this in it. So when you get to this point, you're going forward and sinking and then rising and turning to the completion. And then you did have the rotation here, so you rotate and sit back, and the arms are twisting outward in this part, and then just rotating a twist inward here, and then twisting further in as you rotate. When you start to go, you're going to go down, and the elbows go out, and then they come in, and then they go out. And that is accomplished through a curve that goes this way.
Can we do that again?
Sure.
And
So,
no, yeah. Gosh, I forgot all about that. Okay, yeah.
so they go in as you turn. As you start to go down, you have the first out. As you come through the bottom of your curve, you're going in again. And as you come up, you're going out.
Okay, they come in again. All right, let's try that again.
So in, out, in, out.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you, I'm going to do this so you can see me from the side here. You've gone in, out, in, out. Notice that my arms are not advancing very much at all. I'm not pushing with my arms.
That way you won't fall over.
Yes,
like I did.
That is a help. What you're doing is you're pushing with the body and the legs.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I know how to move the hands.
So when you turn, and I'm not going to turn my foot so that I stay sideways too.
Okay.
So when you turn, that's what twists everything in.
All right.
As you start to go into your downward curve, you have the push down, push down, and the arms, notice that my elbows and my hands are going out. My hands aren't doing this, they are twisting out. The elbows are twisting out. And then when you continue, they come back in. Notice that you're now twisting the arms in the opposite direction. You haven't changed the direction you're rotating, but you have switched your twisting. Have I confused you?
When you say switched, you're twisting.
You're in, out, continuing in, out. So in other words, we started with little finger edge in, little finger edge out. Little finger edge in and little finger edge out. Disregard what I said before. Yeah, no, that's fine.
You okay?
Yeah, oh no, I just need to sit down for a minute.
Okay.
um, yeah.
So I go in.
So the in comes as you turn, not after you turn.
Okay, let me see, where was I from?
You're over to the left with,
Okay.
yeah.
Came down and
So when you go from roll back here, you just turn. They don't have to go all the way up, but they make a definite turn in. And then as you start to go forward, they go down, and then they go in and out.
okay.
So you're going in, out, in, out. Same movement, but at a different place in the relation to the body. So what you're kind of missing is getting the body to go like this, because the distance here is a lot longer when you do this. So it gives you more time,
Yeah.
and it gives you a curving movement that corresponds in a whole body sense to the movement of the arms. Do you follow me?
Yeah, I forgot about that. And it gives you, there's actually more distance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the thing is that if you went here and then you went straight ahead, basically what you've got is this. You could bend, but you have no rotation. Will you sit down? Hey. We don't have the stamina we used to, Bill.
My left leg is hurting.
Oh, okay. Well, let your left leg rest.
Okay, so as I turn.
Oh, go ahead.
What did you bring me?
She said, "Won't you play with me?" No, Mango, this is not a playtime. I'm sorry.
As I turn, I'm bringing it down. So as I turn, my elbows are coming in.
Yep.
And if I bring my elbows in, it seems to me my hands rotate out.
No, they rotate in because you're focusing on the little finger edge. Your arm can do two things.
Okay.
Two
all
directions.
right, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it goes out a bit.
Yeah.
Comes back in again a bit, and then goes out.
Out. Okay.
I guess I should have closed the door.
Well, I'll tell you, this is the best session we've ever had.
Well, really? Okay. I'm waiting for a call. Let me just check this.
Yeah.
Hello? No, obviously not what I'm waiting for. one of the things to remember is that in all the movements that we do, the legs and the waist lead the arms. We are never leading with the arms and the hands.
Well, with this one, yeah, we go into it with the body.
We keep going into it with the body. So if you've gone into here, the body is causing the arms to turn and go out, come in, and go out again.
Yeah, see, I'm leaning forward.
No, move from here. You're not moving from here. You're moving from here.
With the body.
Ah. I know I mentioned that concept before.
Okay. Actually, with the body moves, it's back.
Mm-hmm. It does every movement. In the Wu Yu Xiang classics, it says if any part of the body moves, all parts move. If any part of the body is still, all parts are still.
Oh,
So.
yeah. Who said that?
Wu Yu Xiang.
Oh, good old Wu.
The guy who developed the Wu style that I teach. That you do the short form and
Yeah.
yeah. So when you get to here,
Yeah.
then you shift forward and you rotate to the corner, and that twists the arms in. And then you step to the other corner, and that twists the arms in a little further into position, but the weight is back. At this point, my forward foot is still empty.
Okay.
And then you shift forward, and everything twists out and extends out.
Okay.
So the movement has both rotation and shifting.
What do you mean by shifting?
Weight is moving from one foot to the other.
Okay.
Shifting
Yeah.
forward. But the step needs to be empty. So then you have some place to move from into that. And then that's here.
Yeah.
So then we shift forward, and the arms are bending. They don't actually rotate until you turn here, and they're twisting in and bending in and continuing to do that into the second step. And then they twist out and expand out in that movement.
During shoulder.
During shoulder.
Where you see your hands are.
Okay, so when I make that second step, I'm here.
Yeah.
As I rotate and shift forward, I'm going here.
Okay, you're not touching.
No,
Oh,
no,
okay. Yeah.
you're pushing.
Okay. All right. Then. Oh, the needle at Sigma.
Yeah. So here you're shifting forward, rotating, and now the tricky part here is that you are twisting in all the way through to here, even though the movement seems to be enlarging. It's not. You're actually twisting in and bending in to this point. And then you extend out and twist out. Boom.
Well, wait a minute, we start up here.
Up here.
Yeah,
You go down, and as this is going down,
you're going out.
you're actually going out. And the body, of course, is
Let's see
turned.
that, go ahead.
Okay, so when we get to here,
Yeah,
I'm not out, I'm in,
yeah,
and I'm bent. Now, this is going down, down, boom. And if you notice, we haven't worked on the spine, but if you notice at this point that my back is slightly bent, and as I go down and extend, my back is straightening. Boom. Yeah.
but that happens if you move your knees, doesn't it?
But your weight is on the back foot, not on the forward foot.
All right,
You're not on the left foot at all. There's no
Okay.
weight on the left foot.
jeez. I didn't know that.
Nothing to it.
Well, the whole time that you're going down,
You're extending and
Yeah.
twisting out.
so you're,
No, don't go over there. It ends right in front.
okay,
Here. It doesn't end here though. It ends here.
okay.
Yeah. With your back straight and your head
And
up.
then,
Well, now the thing here for you that I saw is not to swing the arms out there. The body turns. You're absolutely right. We come down to here, and then notice that my arms are staying in the center. They're not going over to the right.
oh,
Okay?
yeah,
So you're coming in and step, and that positions the left forearm and the right hand, and then this is just a shift forward and an expansion of the right hand. So that all you're doing here is boom, and this is extending, but it's not, obviously you're not doing that.
yep,
Um,
you're already in that
It's a
position.
little more internal at this point, yeah. Boom. And then you shift on, here you're going to rotate and shift on to the left as you come to center, and you're twisting in, and then you step, rotate and twist out, and just rotate.
Now, you end up straight ahead?
Uh-huh, absolutely straight ahead.
Okay,
Nothing to it.
no, yeah, there's nothing to it if you don't pay attention to all the little things,
Yep.
which are many.
And this is easy. This is only an 8 posture form. Try the 108 posture form.
Let's wait till next week for that.
Actually, I will not probably ever teach that Yang style form again
Yeah,
anyway, because I teaching the Wu now, and that's what I practice. We do a little bit of Yang in your class and in here, but that's it now. Can't teach everything, particularly now that I don't do a whole lot. But we've got time.
Yeah, you've limited the number of students, right?
Well, not so much the number of students, but the number of classes.
Yeah.
And the students have limited themselves. I still have about a total of about 20 students. But
Oh, wow, that's a lot.
no, I used to have closer to 100.
That's more.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was back when I was teaching, depending on the time period, somewhere between 16 and 20 classes a week. Too many classes. I don't know how I did it, actually.
Yeah. I think everybody goes along with the change.
But some people resist it, some people
Oh, really?
go along with it, some people flow with it. There are a lot of different ways that people deal with change.
Yeah, true.
Some people resist it. I was just hearing about the father of a friend who's 93 and refuses to acknowledge what his physical condition is, which is causing a lot of difficulty in the family.
I could see me doing
Maybe not.
that. No, I don't think I will, but there are times when,
Well, we all have times when we say, darn, I used to be able to do that easily, and now we
Right.
can't do it at all.
right, right, yeah.
Part of where we are, Bill. And that's one of the major, really, from a life standpoint, that's one of the major lessons we're trying to learn in Tai Chi, is that everything, absolutely everything, is in constant change. And we need to flow with it, not fight it. A lot of it is very beautiful. I mean, the flow of the seasons and is wonderful. Particularly for us up here, where we get some real season.
Yes, we do.
I could never live in Florida.
No. Pratt has a facility down there, and I was down there several times. And, flat as a pancake.
Yeah.
Well, where I was, the roads were wide and the traffic was much.
Yes. It's, I used to, I lived in Chicago for a while. I used to spend quite a bit of time in New York, and I prided myself on being able to deal with that traffic and without losing my mind. But now I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's You know, we always seem to be going somewhere when there isn't too much traffic. Our timing with our doctor appointments seem to be pretty good. Every once in a while, though, it's traffic time.
Yeah.
Like in Colchester, I can't believe how many cars there are jammed into Colchester at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. My goodness.
Yeah, yeah. And it's gotten a lot busier over the years.
Yes, it has.
But, hey,
Well, this whole pneumonia thing has really thrown me for a loop.
oh yeah.
I am so weak right now
Mm.
that I just got, it's really troublesome.
I've experienced that after the sciatica I had. I really lost strength during that. I have begun to really feel like I'm getting some of that back, but it's really hard at our age because when we lose it, it's what, 5 times as hard as it was 20 years ago to get it back.
Get it back.
Takes a lot more time and effort.
Yeah, I was talking yesterday. She finally called me. I had this PT gal for my lymphedema, and she was very, very good. I got to know her. She was a real special person.
Nice.
And she was a soccer player, and she was really into soccer, and I'm really enamored with soccer. And so we used to talk a lot about soccer. And she was very professional, though. I said to her one day, I'd like to come and see you play. Oh no, we can't do that. So we were talking last night, and she has moved away from her Colchester office where she was into Enfield.
Enfield.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Which is where she lives. So she's no longer going to be my PT gal.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, if that's the case, I guess I can come and see you play soccer. Well, she hemmed and hawed, and she just didn't feel that was a relationship that should occur. And but she gave me some hints on where she plays and what time, so maybe I'll scoot over there someday. She really was beside professionally being very good. She was just a real good person.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I had found that with the PTs from the office that closed in Colchester. Can't remember. Eastern Connecticut, I think was what it was called. But anyway, I had one PT there that I really liked. Was very good. And unfortunately, they closed that office, and she had to go to one up north. So
it makes a big difference. I mean, not only with PT, not only professionally, but the relationship you develop with them, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure how important they realize that is. Because
Some do and some don't.
I think maybe in their training and their schooling, they may be told, look, you have to maintain a professional distance. Well, you know, I don't buy it.
Well, what is a professional distance? So that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Because I got sent to one that I never saw her. Hardly saw her face because she was looking at her computer the whole time I was there.
Oh my.
And all she was interested in was that I did the number of repetitions of whatever that she was giving me.
Yeah, that's.
She wasn't.
Go away.
Yeah. I didn't stay. I did a couple of sessions there and then I left. But anyway.
Yeah.
Good PT is really important. I agree. I was not earlier suggesting that PT isn't valuable. I mean, it can be very valuable.
Yeah, it can be. And,
I just think that sometimes chiropractic is neglected when it could be very helpful.
my mother, when I was a young child, took me to a chiropractor. And Dr. Ross. I got so many bad vibes from him that I'm not sure I've been to a chiropractor since.
Yeah.
Which is not right.
You know, you're not the first person that I've heard say, you know, that they had a bad experience with a chiropractor and never went back. One of the things is that many really good chiropractors now no longer do those big adjustments. They use a tool which makes very fine adjustments and actually can tell when the adjustment is completed. And actually Trish in Colchester teaches that as well as she's been doing it for many years.
Yeah.
She's really good. So she doesn't do those big adjustments that chiropractors did. My uncle was a chiropractor. He was the first licensed chiropractor in Indiana. Many years ago.
Yes.
And I went to him many times, and he, you know, at that point they did all in the 40s and 50s, they were still doing all the big adjustments.
Well, he would take my head.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I could, he even made like I think it made a noise. I mean, it was,
yeah.
You know, and then the other way.
Yep.
And I can't remember what he did with my back, but that was.
Yeah, that really most. I don't know. There are some things that need to be adjusted that way, but it's not necessary for most adjustments now.
Yeah.
And anyway, I have gone to Trish for probably at least 30 years.
Oh my God.
And as a matter of fact, when I first graduated from massage school, boy, that's a long time ago, I actually did massage in her office. She was one of the teachers at the Connecticut Center for Massage Therapy. So I've known her a long time. More than 30 years, I think. More like 40.
Oh my word. She must be getting on in age too.
I think she's in her 60s.
Oh, that's quite young, isn't it?
Yeah, we think so. Bill, I think we're kind of at the end of our time. We
good.
sort of done a lot of talking that isn't necessarily related to what we're doing.
Well, it turns out most of the time it's necessary.
Do you have any other questions?
No.
Appropriate questions before you?
Yeah, I want to know what happened to our entertainment.
Jane came home.
Oh, so.
They went up to greet her.
I tell you, those two are priceless.
They are. They're really special cats.
Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, gee. Oh, I better leave that right there.
Yeah, that's one of their toys.
Yeah. Oh, boy, you got some winners. I've never seen such friendly cats.
Well, we feel very lucky to have gotten them. The woman who was fostering them really was thinking of just keeping them because they were such wonderful cats, and her two daughters, little daughters, just loved them.
Yeah.
So we were very lucky to